Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. And they were posted, and that passed. Because the American voter is too stupid to understand the difference.
So, Rich, when you see that, what's your reaction to it?
It's actually kind of surreal because for a long time I was the only one that knew it existed.
In the last few weeks, literally millions of people have seen these videos and heard the story. But almost no one has met the man responsible for it all.
Breaking tonight, explosive new video coming to light from one of the architects of Obamacare.
A third video of Obamacare architect, Professor Jonathan Gruber, bashing the American voter and bragging about deceiving them.
The American voter is too stupid to understand the difference.
What? How? What?
And now, in his first on-camera interview, the man who found the Jonathan Gruber videos and uncovered what he calls the hidden truths behind Obamacare talks to Project Veritas about his discoveries and how they will impact every American.
If you've got health care already, then you can keep your plan if you are satisfied with it.
If you like the plan you have, you can keep it.
I intend to keep this promise. If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan.
If you like your plan and your doctor,
You can keep your doctor. You can keep your plan.
you like your current insurance, you keep that insurance. Period.
When the president said if you like your plan, you can keep your plan, period, it kind of made me think that the law wasn't going to impact me. But then I lost my health insurance. That made me think, what the heck's going on? And I became more engaged in the law because I knew it was going to impact me at that point.
Rich is self-employed, and like millions of Americans, he has seen his health care insurance costs skyrocket. He believes it is because of Obamacare, the lies and hidden agendas buried in this massive piece of legislation. This is a copy of the actual law that was signed by President Obama back in 2010.
Why don't you want to be public? Why don't you want to show your face?
Well, I don't think my face should be the face of what's going on. I'm just finding stuff, and I just want people to know what I found and how it's going to impact them. I just want the American people to know what's going on.
Rich started his quest by extensively searching the web and reading a lot about the Affordable Care Act. And then he discovered this guy, MIT economist and Obamacare architect Jonathan Gruber. Gruber literally wrote the book on Obamacare. Rich found videos of Gruber giving seminars and talking to students and saying things that he now definitely regrets.
Jonathan Gruber played a large role in Romneycare, in helping form Romneycare. He and some of his Romneycare associates basically went up and down from Boston to Washington and helped form the Affordable Care Act.
What's important to remember politically about this is if you're a state and you don't set up an exchange, that means your citizens don't get their tax credits.
What Rich heard from Mr. Gruber was the real agenda and consequences of Obamacare. His mission now is to make sure people understand that this law will impact every American, and that every American, in spite of President Obama's assurances, will have changes in their health care insurance plans. For some it will be good, but for many others, their coverage will be a lot more expensive.
And the only way we could take it on was first by mislabeling it, calling it a tax on insurance plans rather than a tax on people, and we all know it's really a tax on people who hold those insurance plans.
So what was Gruber talking about there?
In the very beginning, what I understood was they were trying to destroy the tax break people get when you get company-sponsored insurance. And instead of overtly repealing that tax break, they used this Cadillac tax. So they mislabeled it. First they mislabeled it by making it sound like it only applies to expensive plans, and eventually it hits almost every plan.
The Congressional Budget Office, or CBO as it is known, says roughly 156 million Americans have employment-based insurance coverage. Rich believes that with Obamacare, nearly all of those people will ultimately either lose that coverage or pay a lot more for it.
This bill was written in a tortured way to make sure CBO did not score the mandate as taxes. If CBO scored the mandate as taxes, the bill dies. Okay, so it's written to do that. Lack of transparency is a huge political advantage. And basically, call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever.
What did Gruber mean by lack of transparency? What is the lack of transparency here?
Well, the lack of transparency is the idea, to me, that they wanted to get at that tax break for employer-sponsored plans. It's a $250 billion number per year of lost revenue going to the Treasury.
Rich says his discoveries of Gruber's off-the-cuff videos prove the hidden agenda behind Obamacare. By poisoning employer-sponsored health care plans, the government is making a $250 billion a year tax grab.
How did you first find this video, and when you found it, was it like a eureka moment to you?
When they kept repeating the idea of that tax break, the $250 billion per year, and it showed up in every video I saw of Dr. Gruber, it kind of struck me as this is a tax grab. That's what this is. They're going after the tax break.
You saw the clip and you just started sending it right away to people you thought might be interested?
And nobody would listen to me. And so it was just me. It was me and my computer and my iPad, and nobody would listen to me. And I had all this great stuff explaining what was going on, and nobody would listen to me.
Finally, Rich posted on a Washington Post comment page about the videos he had discovered, and someone noticed, and now the whole country has noticed.
So you essentially broke this video in the comments section of the Washington Post. And what do you think that says about our media and our state of journalism?
We've got some real problems. And actually, most people who I tried to reach out to, many of them have contacted me back, and they've all said, yeah, we missed this.
The videos caused such an uproar that last week a House committee called Dr. Gruber to Washington.
Are you stupid?
I don't think so, no.
Does MIT employ stupid people?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, so you're a smart man who said some, as the ranking member said, some really stupid things, and you said the same. Is that correct?
The comments I made were really inexcusable.
So, do you think Jonathan Gruber is stupid?
I've been using the word brilliant. It's maybe not in the best way, but there's some brilliance as to how this thing was put together.
This is Tom Rice from South Carolina talking about the shifting of the costs.
You also said that if the people had known, if the taxpayers, the stupid American taxpayers, had recognized that we were shifting costs from healthy people to unhealthy people, you said that the law wouldn't have passed. Do you still believe that?
That was once again my trying to pretend I'm something I'm not.
So, can you explain how they were shifting these costs?
At the hearing, there was another witness at the table, and he explained that he had a pre-existing condition, and his premiums actually were cut in half. And on the other hand, my family has no pre-existing conditions, and my premiums doubled. So what you have is, I refer to it as the redistribution of health. So they took my health and they applied it to his health. My premiums double, his were cut in half.
So here's another clip.
Fortunately for me, I voted against it to begin with. I voted against the Affordable Care Act because, unlike some people, I actually sat down and read it. And it was one of the most complex bills that I have ever read. And I had a full staff helping me with questions on that. How do I fix this?
So the congressman is asking, how does he as a legislator fix this? Rich, how do we fix this?
I have no freaking idea how to fix this thing. All I know is that the longer this thing goes, the harder it's going to get to undo.
How did we find Rich? On Twitter. He sent me a message and we decided to help get his story out. For all the other Riches out there, contact us. We'd like to help get your story out, too.